Hey everyone, hope you're all healthy and following government guidelines. With us all being stuck at home, I thought I would record a quick video on how to set up and use the TRX. So ideally you want a door that opens outwards or that locks and is secure. I have neither of those things in this flat, so I'm going to take the risk of an inwards opening door. If you decide to do the same, please make sure that one, it is going to hold your weight. Two, there's not like a coffee table lying around which you might smash your head off. So, first things first, you want to attach this attachment via the carabiner to the top of the TRX. You're then going to open up the door and chuck it over the middle of the door. Close that, pull it through so there's no slack. Make sure that it's going to take a little bit of your body weight before you put all of it on. Cool, I'm just about happy with that. So I want to show you some lower body exercises, some upper body exercises and some core exercises. For me, it's one of my favourite bit of home gym equipment and the magic really lies in the kind of horizontal pulling movements that I'm going to show you. Cool, so I'm going to start with some of my favourite upper body exercises and I'm going to speed through them fairly quickly. So I'm going to start with the Trx Row. We want to set our feet up roughly shoulder width apart. We want a nice straight line from ankles to shoulders. We're going to set the shoulder blades back and down, nice proud chest, rowing up towards the ribs, controlled back down, up towards the ribs, controlled back down. So that's the Trx Row. We're now going to move into the T and the Y row. So similar starting position but less aggressive angle. We're going to pull up into a T position, not letting the angle at the elbows change. We're then going to come up into a Y position, again, not letting the angle at the elbow change. We should keep that nice straight line from shoulder down to ankles. Next up, the Trx chest press. So remember, with all of these exercises, you can manipulate how hard it is by where your feet are in relation to the axis point. So we're going to set up facing the other way this time. We want nice straight line from ankles to shoulders again. We're going to set the shoulder blades back and down. Arms going to be nice and straight, palms facing down. We're going to slowly descend down towards our hands, tucking elbows at 45 degrees. We're going to big push up through our arms, back to the start position. Same again, control down, elbows 45 degrees. Big push up back to the start position. Nice, so I'm going to show you a couple of arm exercises you can do with the TRX now. So the first one is the Tricep Extension. So I'm going to set up similar position to with the TRX chest press. Hands should be roughly shoulder level, arms locked out straight, palms facing down. From here, we are going to bend at the elbow, keeping upper arm parallel with the floor. We're coming controlled down, so hands are in line with the forehead. Big push up, big squeeze of the tricep. Control down, bending at the elbow. Big push back up, using the tricep. We want to make sure we stay straight from ankle to shoulder as usual. Next up we have the bicep curl. We are going to set our feet up shoulder width apart. Palms going to be at forehead level, upper arms parallel with the floor. Keeping upper arms with the elbow, we're going to extend the lower arm out to just off straight. Big pull back in, finishing in that same start position. Controlled out, extending the lower arm. Big curl in, big squeeze of the bicep. Cool. So I want to show you some lower body exercises now. We're going to start with probably the toughest, the rear foot elevated split squat. This one requires a little bit of balance. So first things first, we want to shorten this strap as much as possible by opening up the bottom clip and pulling on the strap. We're going to make that as long as possible. We then want to hook our foot into the bottom of this. So I like to go with opposite hand, foot in. We're then going to jump ourselves a step forwards. Test your balance a little bit here. We're then going to go sinking our weight back, keeping our front shin vertical. We're descending down and back towards the door. We're then going to power through mid-foot back to the start position. Control down, weight going back towards the door. powering up through midfoot, back to the start position. The Trx Squat. So this is a really good option that I use with my clients if they're suffering from a little bit of anterior front of the knee pain. Because we can sit the hips back more with this, we can keep the shin a little bit more vertical and it takes away some of the shear force through the knee. So we want to start feet roughly shoulder width apart, facing forward or slightly out. Arms are going to have a slight bend in them. We're going to initiate the movement by sending hips back and descending down, keeping chest nice and proud. We're driving through the whole foot back to the start position. Same again, initiating the movement by sending hips back, descending down. Chest nice and proud, big drive up through midfoot, back to the start position. The Curtsy Lunge. So this is a really good frontal plane exercise, meaning we move laterally rather than just forwards and backwards. We want to start feet roughly hip width apart, arms bent roughly 90 degrees. We're going to initiate the movement by sending one leg back behind the other, sliding side of the foot along the floor, descending down. We're going to drive through the heel of the planted leg, back to the start position and repeat with the other side. So sending leg back behind the other leg, descending down, driving up through heel, back to the start. We should feel this in the glute of the planted front leg. The Hamstring Curl. So we're going to start lying on our back, heels hooked into the straps. We want to set the straps to roughly mid-shin level. From here, we want legs just off straight, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to initiate the movement by driving the hips up. We're then going to drive down through our heels, curling our feet in. Top position, we finish with a straight line from shoulder to knee. Controlled back down. Relax. Initiate the movement by driving hips up. Driving down into our heels, curling in, finishing nice straight line from shoulders to knees. Controlled back down. We should feel this all in the back of our thighs. Nice, so I'm going to show you a couple of core exercises on the TRX to finish. And I just want to give you a word of warning. The TRX core exercises are extremely advanced. If you can't get the right pelvic positioning with just a normal high plank, this is probably not for you. And let me show you what I mean by that. In a high plank position, we want posterior pelvic tilt or the tailbone tucked under, glutes engaged. We should be able to hold this for a decent amount of time before progressing onto the TRX core stuff. Cool, so two exercises. We're going to teach you the pike and then some mountain climbers. So we want top of our foot hooked into bottom of the strap, and this is a tough position to get into. Cool, I'm just about in. We're now going to go out into the high plank position with that posterior tilt, glutes engaged. For the pike, we are going to send our hips up as high as we can, slow and controlled back down into that glutes engaged posterior tilt position. High as you can with the hips, controlled back down. For the mountain climber, same again, we want to start in that posterior tilted position. We're going to drive knees up towards the chest, alternating between the two. Really advanced, please be careful with these, especially if you have a history of lower back pain.